Hey there, boys. Last week I asked you guys to vote on a poll which build you would like to see next, and you guys chose for the Huntsman build. So that's what I'm gonna be going through this week. I'll show you what the build looks like at different levels. There's a few versions you can go for. There's, of course, at different levels you will have a different looking build. So I made some options if you're either at level 20, if you're at level 30, or if you're all the way maxed out on perk points and you're very far into the story. So here's the build at level 20. One thing that's very important for the whole build is the cat eyes. One thing you need to do is go to Tucson, finish off the Cyclops that you gotta fight at the beginning, the Goliath. Finish him off with one shot with the crossbow, so you can skip through that fight. You won't be able to beat him with sword damage. Go for the one shot and go to the main square in Tucson to get the notification about Muro's secret lab. Go get yourself to the lab, fix yourself cat eyes. That means you gotta spend a lot of perk points. You gotta get all these. So Bloodbath, Deadly Counter, Toxic Blood, Euphoria, need all of them so you can get cat eyes. That will cost you a lot of perk points, I won't lie, but it will be worth it because cat eyes will really enhance your build. You don't have that much slots yet at this level, so we gotta make do. And every stage of the game you will have these 3 perks. Why? Because you will always be using light armor, so your critical hit damage will be 100% extra if you have all 4 pieces equipped. It will also help you out with your fast attack damage if you're not using the crossbow, and of course more damage and 1 more bolt. What's important is if you are constantly away from the fight, keeping distance, you'll get shot at by arrows and you need to dodge stuff. So always get these 2 and spend as much points as you need into these. You can skip on this one, it's not necessary, as long as you have this one for adrenaline points to boost your attack damage and get the crit chance of your crossbow all the way up to 100%. This one is used so you don't lose your adrenaline that you gain. I picked these 2 just to get the toxicity a little bit higher for healing, all that kind of purposes. For the look I just decided to go with whatever gear I could find. I found a nice piece of guardsman armor in Tucson, but I combine it with almost all of the feline set. So that's light armor, and I spent some money to get the rune rife, right? Early game I used this one to get an instant quen at the start of the fight. That will really help you out, get your shots in, and if you get hit you can just cast it again. It looks very fine. I think you can do it with the cat armor as well, but it just doesn't look as good in my opinion. I just don't like the look of it, but it's way easier to get. And this is what the build looks like at level 30. Level 30 is the level where you have access to your last slots to fill, and you will have access to the feline and the ursine crossbow, both very good for this stage of the game. I think this build works best during the mid game because of how the damage output of the crossbow works. Late game it loses a bit of its potential of raw damage, but you can make that up with perks. At this point of the game you have access to the enhanced feline set, so go for most of that set. In this case I chose the ursine because it just looks a bit better. Also crafting these bolts is very important. You want to get as much exploding bolts, split bolt and precision bolt as you need. The broadhead bolt has its use as well, because of the bleeding it does. And the tracking bolt is not bad either, because of the armor piercing it does. 15 armor piercing is nothing compared to 100 armor piercing that the tracking bolt gives you. But the raw damage is lower. The damage is highest on the precision bolt and the firebolt. But the firebolt works as an AoE and this is a single target damage. I would save these up for fights against multiple targets and these for single targets, like monsters and bosses. And if you want to do a big chunk of damage in one go, get your adrenaline up, shoot 3 bolts at the same time, so adrenaline will be boosted even faster. Still, at this point in the game, you don't have that much HP to go with, but you do have access to most of the potions that you want to go for. Make sure they're all superior. Spend some time crafting these. You'll be thankful for it. The more recipes that you do know, the higher your toxicity will be because of this one, this perk. And here we have the same build but all the way maxed out. This is my New Game Plus save and this is what it looks like. These 3 work very well just to defend yourself. The counterattack, you will use the counterattack very often, as you will see in the clips, because people will be charging at you with swords, anything, and you can counterattack them to get them off you and shoot your bolt. Of course, I have these 2. This one you can spend only 1 point or 3 points. If you get all the points to spend, go for it. This one is useful for when you do take damage and you want to keep your adrenaline at 3 points. You get this one. If you prefer to have the slow time, go for that one. But now the difference is at this high level you can spend a lot more points at the green, which allows you to get these mulligan bonuses very high. Grand total of 120, 150, 165% extra attack power, which will work very well with this one, because your adrenaline points will be all the way maxed out and you will deal another 100% extra damage. Another 100% extra crit damage here, so 200%, 225 with the raw damage here, and of course an extra bolt. At this point of the game, enemies do a lot more damage and you are relatively weaker. I will show you a few clips against Nilfgaardian Camp. Do take damage, it will take a big chunk of health out of it. You're still rocking light armor, but in this case you're using 3 parts feline, because you want the hood. I think that looks very good for the build. The green is a very nice set, and the red will really complement with the manticore swords that you have equipped. Manticore swords, of course, have very good armor piercing and the critical hit damage bonus that you will need for your crossbow as well. At this point of the game you have access to this crossbow, probably the strongest crossbow in the game. If you compare it to the Ursine, you can see Ursine has some advantages, like the bonus experience, but the small numbers of critical hit damage bonus and critical hit chance just are nothing compared to the 300% attack power you get from this one. To get this crossbow though, or the other one with the other name, you have to win the whole tournament in Tucson, which is something people sometimes miss, or they lose one fight or they lose one race. Just reload the thing, do it again until you get this crossbow. It will be worth it. You can see the damage output when I demonstrate it. It's insane. As you can see here, even without any adrenaline points, raw, no potions, the crit chance for the ranged weapon is already maxed out. You cannot have anything higher than 100% because you'll have guaranteed crits. This is the damage that is displayed here. It's not what you get if you shoot it. You'll get higher numbers. And that's mostly because of the potions that you use. The potions that I use is this one for 50% increased damage. This is seriously a glass cannon build, so stacking all the damage, crit damage that you possibly can, but not focusing that much on your health. I did put a few points into this one to allow a bit more HP, but it's not gonna make that much of a difference. The 900. Instead of going for tissue transmutation, you could always consider fast metabolism to make sure you don't take damage from toxicity. And that's what all the 3 builds look like at different levels. You can always tinker yourself, pick a different piece of armor that you like better. If you want to make it green, go to Tucson, buy some dice, find some dice, craft some dice, whatever you like. And for now I'm just gonna show you a few gameplay clips, and I will see you in the next video. Enjoy!
That's enough of that. Hasta la vista. Hasta la vista. Hasta la vista.